What up, Bob?
How's it going, everybody?
What up, Craig?
Howdy. So, TNT Tuesday. I'm Bob at TNT Customs. We're here in the Jeep shop. Or LJ's. Seems to be our thing. People bring them to us to
LJ and out.
get them fixed. So this one just came in. It's an 05 Rubicon manual. Customer bought it somewhat built. It had the AAV Highline kit on it, which is no longer on
I
it.
was gonna say that's a back in the day item right there.
Right.
Some people remember those.
Some old school stuff.
Yeah.
There's anybody out there looking for an unmolested, very pristine set of the Highline fenders from AAV, I'll put you in contact with the customer. So she's going to Poison Spider Defenders up front with the 3-inch flare, if I remember right.
Correct.
It's got the Poison Spider Ricochet rockers on it. We are building corner armor because nobody builds a Highline corner, and we have capability to build just about anything. So we're building corners for it. So let's go look at them.
You can dream it, we can build it.
So when our Highline corner unit goes on, the tube work is up here. I don't have a piece of tube handy to show you, but I'm still working on the CAD file for the tubing. But the flare will tuck in right underneath this bolt. And if you draw that line out, it kind of lines up with this pinstripe by dumb luck. So your rear flare ends up just that much lower than the front fender, which is fine because typically you can get more movement in the front end and you need more clearance because of steering when you articulate.
Correct.
So this little mismatch in height is barely visible. The problem with going any higher, yes, I can build tube work and we can put the flare up here because that would line the body line up here, but you can't cut any more out of here without doing major surgery to the inside of the tub, and it's just not cost effective. Where we're at, we lose 1, 2, 3, 4 spot welds. When this cut will take you right up against the back side of the wheel well, just that little section, and we'll stitch weld that back together, but we don't interrupt any of the other joints, I guess you'd say, from the factory. But you can, this Jeep's already been cut because of the AEV fender or the AEV flare. Normally where your LJ tub is in here somewhere, but we'll end up taking this all the way out, and we convert it over to a YJ filler bezel because that is a lot smaller piece than the big round TJ. So it gives me room to sneak the flare past it.
Okay.
So this unit will get a part number, and when we're done we'll get some pictures, and it'll be a product you can buy on the website.
And what is this opening for?
This here is a 38-inch diameter cut, so a 37 will fit with no issues.
Okay.
A 40 will go. You probably never get the tire clear into here anyway. Where you're going to run into trouble with a 40 is right here in the corners. So they could be trimmed.
Okay.
If you're going to do a 42, we can rearrange and open that up if you let me know. That will require you to move the gas tank, filler, and have to do some creative piping.
Gotcha.
But it's really not a stretch corner. It will end up about a 1-inch push to hit the center line. Since this is a Rubicon, it's got Dana 44s in it, we can get away with a 1-inch push with the gas tank skid she chose. I may have to modify that skid. We don't know yet till we start checking up travel, because this company doesn't put the clearance in it for the diff cover. They went straight across, so more than likely that's all going to get cut out and fixed.
Okay.
But we'll cross that bridge when we start putting suspension on it. We're going to put our tried and true long arm kit on it. I think it's a full traction is what's on it. It's coming off. Full traction never did a high clearance belly pan system, and with an LJ that's critical for breakover angle.
So the drop down on this guy, she's got quite a lip on her.
It's huge.
Yeah.
As Donald would say, huge.
This is huge.
So we're gonna tuck all the middle up, give her some better breakover angle, better geometry, better drivability, get rid of the Heim joints that are in this system that clunk and rattle. We'll put all rebuildable flex joints in it. It's what's in our kit anyway. We're gonna not do outboard shock on this one. The customer wants to do coilovers probably this winter.
Not a bad idea.
She has budget constraints and time constraints. Coilovers take us probably a week and a half to fully set them up and dial them in, and she just doesn't have the time right now. She's trying to get to Moab first part of September. So we'll bang the long arm out on it, get the rear armor done. Sean will be putting the defenders on the front so we can get all that fitted. Everything mounted up again, do all the under hood work that needs to be done, and we'll strip all the armor off, send it paint. It's going to be color matched. When we're done with it, after the corners have sat for a week to outgas properly, then Tanner will line X the backside of the flare and probably do the tube on the flare so it looks like it has a black flare. Was one thing she wanted us to do. Probably line X the backside of the front fenders. Just, you know, added corrosion protection and stone chip protection.
Jeep's in really good shape.
Yeah, it's a beautiful Jeep. It's got 33 or 34,000 original miles on it. It's kind of a cream puff, so she's doing it right. She's putting armor on it so it stays a nice Jeep. Barring any whoopses. We're also going to replace the Hansen front bumper and put our Guardian Pro on it, get her a little better approach angle.
A lot better clearance. There's a lot more tucked up. A little narrower.
So I mean, that's really it in a nutshell. Build another LJ. The Safari LJ is coming along. We're working some interior issues right now. The customer had us order PRP seats in the oversized, I think that's the way they say it, king whatever. It's a bigger seat than normal.
Large booty edition.
Yes. So we're having to work through some mounting issues. The seat in the cage don't want to play. The seat in the center console don't want to play. Seat in the door doesn't want to play. So I don't know if we can get over there. We got a lot of junk in the way.
If I fall down, I pre-apologize.
Go ahead and go through.
So what we got going on here, Bob?
So we're working on these replacement seat bases. We've built these in the past here in the custom shop for one customer in particular. He's about 6'7". Oh, he's a fairly large fella.
So he's my height.
Yeah, and his requirement was that we lowered the seat for obvious reasons. If you're 6'7", you don't really fit in a TJ very well. So we made these bases that lowered the seat, and then we drug the seat as far rearward as we could get so we get the guy to fit, and he loves them. He's still driving the Jeep. So I dug this up out of the project files, and it's actually a product we're thinking about putting into production. You know, I got a few little more kinks I got to work out of it. for those of all the Jeeps had that fold and tumble deal. Especially in a TJ, everybody knows my opinion of TJs. They're two-seaters. They don't necessarily require a back seat. If you need back seat, look at a four-door JK. You're building a TJ, typically you're building a hardcore crawler, and at that point, you know, it's a two-seater. You already got gear in the back, or you got a fuel cell, or you got, God only knows what you got in the back. So you really don't need all that fold and tumble stuff. And if your Jeep was topless for years, the fold and tumble is probably corroded and or rusty and doesn't do anything anyway.
And it's not comfortable to start with.
Right. So on this particular unit, I've lowered the seat about an inch, and I put a shade more rake in it from the factory. In my opinion, that it just sits better. You're down in the seat deeper, you're down in the Jeep a touch. This customer's more or less my size, maybe a little thinner, but he's my build. And I like these seats a little lower in the TJ. Gives you a little more noggin room, lines you up better with everything. So once we get the bugs worked out of this one, these bases will go on the website as a test product. We'll see if people are interested in them or not. Once they're the base units on the website, if we can figure out, we're not computer guys, so bear with us. If we can figure out an option set, and it's a breakable part, that's why I got to check. We can probably give you like 1 inch option to lower or raise from this. So if you're truck size, we'll stay politically correct.
Tall fella.
You may want a booster seat.
Yeah.
So
some pedal extensions, all that.
We can give you a 1 inch raise on these platforms when we're done.
Booster seat, thanks.
In this LJ, it will never have a back seat either, because the primary purpose, as we discussed last week, is a dog hauler and an overland rig. So he's going to have a ton of gear or his pooches with him. So there's no need to ever have a back seat in it. So the whole fold and tumble thing. And then with PRP seats, they don't really fold and tumble like a factory seat would anyway.
Correct. So
there's really no point. So we go to a fixed base, they'll be more secure, more rigid, better mounting. So that's a product we're working on. You know, we dream up lots of stuff in the custom shop just because we get ourselves into corners, and truth be told, that's how a lot of our product gets developed. So we'll work through the bugs on this one, and you know, sometime late this fall, maybe winter time, these will come out as a sellable piece. So keep that in mind if you're doing aftermarket seats or thinking about them in your TJ or LJ. We'll have platforms available that you can kind of customize your seat placement and height and all of those fun things. Craig's got all the chassis or engine drivetrain wiring done. I don't know if you saw one truck come around the front, he's got wires hanging off the fender, so we're getting lights wired up, and
getting real close.
We're getting close. We did do some trickery on the advanced adapter shifters. They did not line up where we wanted them, so we kind of cut things apart and changed it and made it work, and you know,
custom shifters all the way around.
Yeah, so it's got a low car shifter for the transmission. Craig built a custom floor plate for that, so the low car shifter comes in and out if you ever got to service it or fix it or replace it. We did all the adapter work on the floor pan versus the shifter.
Awesome.
So we're just plugging along. We got the little red TJ done. Customer is inbound from overseas
And watching.
so I'm not going to show him his Jeep. Sorry, Lance. Damn.
I was thinking we could do a preview, and then I saw that name pop up, and there goes that idea.
No, sorry. You'll have to wait till Friday, brother.
Oh, bummer.
It turned out pretty cool. A lot of comments around the shop on the cage. Everybody likes it. Lance is going to be tickled with it. Just tidying up some loose ends today. Put skid plates back on, and front drive shaft just came in, so she'll be ready to rock and roll for you when you get home on Friday. Other than that, I suppose some of you have seen through our personal Instagram and Facebook outlets, we've been doing some landscaping around the shop. We gained another 4 or 5 feet of parking lot. I regraded most of the parking lot and saw Mary running a compactor last weekend. Did some decorative rock work on the outside. Still looking for some boulders, so if anybody's close that's watching has a line on some fairly significant boulders. Now, let me restate that. Something I can move with my skid steer.
Not a mountain.
I don't need any 8-ton boulders because I can't move them. We want to kind of stack some rocks around, so we got some places to park Jeeps. So that's kind of it this week in a nutshell. I know a lot of people are headed for the Jeep invasion in Tennessee this weekend. Have a good time. Stay in the shade. Drink lots of fluids, because last year when we were there, it was flipping hot. It's on the horizon for next year. I think that may be an every other year kind of deal. This year we just got too much stuff going on here around the shop and in the businesses, and so we're not moving around too much. We will be out and about this fall. You all know about Last Man Standing. That's shaping up to be a pretty good event, middle of September, followed by Fall Adventure, which is 29 September through the 3rd of October, I think, something like that, 28th to 4th, I don't know, whatever that week is. Got a pretty good crew signed up to go with me on that one. Still have a few openings if you want to do some adventure style wheeling and camping. I do all the cooking, so all you got to do is bring your Jeep and your sleeping gear, cooler full of beverages, and we'll go have a good time. Kind of poke around the San Rafael Swell. Last official travel for us will be Chili Challenge in mid-October down in southern New Mexico. And we're starting to formulate plans for 2020. Probably kick the year off with the Winter 4x4 Jamboree in St. George, Utah.
Those have not been. Great event.
Yep. Weather can be a little sketchy that time of year, so come prepared. It could be chilly, it could be 70s, it could be raining, it could be sunny.
Could be snowing, could be flooding.
It could be whatever. It's just that time of year. The worst part of that event for us is getting there, because that is winter here. So we're discussing a few options. The last couple times we've been delayed going and coming with interstate closures, so we may just take the truck and trailer and Jeep instead of taking the motorhome. Still kind of figuring that one out. That'll start 2020 off, and then from there Mason's working on a full calendar. We will be out and about a lot more in 2020.
2020 you'll be seeing us.
That's the plan. So in the meantime, we'll keep poking around here and keep turning cool Jeeps out and keep bringing in more customers. I don't know if you can pan all the way down to the other end. We've got a 2-door JL in the shop. We're just putting a basic lift kit on it for a local customer. So we can do anything from, don't go too far.
Almost got busted.
Lance. There you go.
Hey Lance, here's your preview. How's it look? Oh, you want to get closer? Okay, we'll just do this then. We can look. How does it look, Lance? There it is. There's your preview. Jeep's still here.
Yep, still red. Still says bad karma on the hood.
Nice.
One thing Lance did do is switch over from the Goodyears to the Cooper STTs. We're going to see how those work out for them. I think they're a bitchin' tire, a lot more durable than the previous tire. I think you'll be tickled. Drives nice with them. They don't shake or rattle.
It looks great with that cage.
Yeah. So.
Right on.
Well, I think we'll call it a day. Thanks for tuning in. See you next week. Tune at noon. TNT Tuesday. I'm Bob.
Right on. That's it for today, guys. We will see you next week.